Chuck and Winkler, 105.7 FM, The Fan. I'm Brian Winkler, that's Chuck Freeman. We are live at the 11th Annual Toy Drive for the Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. You can catch us Facebook Live, too, for the next 30 minutes or so. Got a couple of guests in with us. Brian Anderson, first and foremost, from Fox Sports Wisconsin and like 80 other things. He stops by for his yearly visit. BA, good to have you.
Great to be here with you guys again. A whole truckload full of toys, man. This is really cool. I've done this every year. This is my 11th year being a part of this, and every year it gets bigger and bigger, and that makes my heart grow. Happy for you guys.
Well, it's great that you're out here. You know, like we talked about before the show started, that you came out here when we had the tent and we used to freeze our ass off.
Yeah, it was not pretty. It was kind of me and the big unit over here, and we were trying to get body heat together. It wasn't a comfortable situation.
You don't want to stand too close to him.
Yeah,
that was back when he was twice ahead. Also
with BA, longtime catcher in the major leagues. Notably with the Dodgers last year with the Marlins, AJ Ellis stopping by. AJ, who lives in the area in the offseason. Thanks for coming out, you as well.
No, good morning. It's great to be here with you guys. I know Brian's been here for years. He finally promised me if I came out, he'd buy me breakfast. So it was a great way for us to get out, and it's great to be here.
How's that introduction, a long-time catcher?
It's getting to that point.
I like that.
Catcher who I checked last night, did he actually retire or is he still a free agent?
AJ, are you retired or are you still playing?
Oh, I am still, as of now, I'm unemployed right now. I am a free agent, and we will see what the next few months hold for me.
Are you the one that they're waiting on? Because the market's been slow this winter. Are they waiting on Ohtani or are they waiting on AJ Ellis?
Well, there's Stanton, Ohtani, Ellis. That's usually the order it goes. And once those two guys get cleared out of the way, the Ellis market will heat up dramatically. And many teams will be lining up for my services, I'm sure.
So, B.A., what's the connection? Because when you and I were talking about coming on the show, you said, can I bring AJ Ellis up? What's the connection between you and AJ? Because he's never played for the Blues.
Well, the connection basically is he's what we call the one. He's the only one who lives in Wisconsin, the only current major league player in the Milwaukee area. So we call him the one, and your request to have me on today was interrupting our breakfast. So we try to get together often. So I figured, AJ's a lot more entertaining than I am. It'll be great to have him with us, and he'll be a regular on this particular event here. So he's just a great friend. We go back. I don't know. We actually ran into each other. Obviously, I covered him when he was playing with the Dodgers. Every time AJ Ellis played the Brewers, whether it was spring training or regular season, he hit a home run. So I must have called 80% of AJ Ellis' home runs in his career. But yeah, we struck up a friendship, and AJ's very tight with Marcus Hamill, whom you guys know very well, our bullpen catcher, and so that's how we made a connection. And then we've just become good friends, and he's a guy that I like to bounce ideas off of, and he helps me with scouting reports, and he's going to be a great broadcaster one day when his career ends as a player, or he'll be a manager or a general manager. He'll probably do it all.
I thought maybe you might be doing some recruiting for the team because he's a free agent.
That too. I'm always selling AJ to anybody in the Brewer system.
He's on retainer. We take care of Brian.
There we go.
Sure.
See, Brian seems to be, you're friendly now with catchers that have caught no hitters.
Yes.
Because you obviously broadcast with Rock.
Oh, yeah, right.
And Rock talks about the no-hitter he caught like every third game.
Right. No, that's me talking about that. I always make fun of him that way.
But AJ, you caught one too with Kershaw. How much do you, because that's such a rare thing in baseball, and it's one of the notable things that you've done in your career. How much does that come up? How much do you think about that?
Well, outside of playing in any playoff games, which I was fortunate to get a chance to do with the Dodgers, that's the singular highlight of my career, is being behind the plate for the greatest pitcher of our generation, Clayton Kershaw's no-hitter. And to be back there, and especially with our relationship and our friendship, and to accomplish that, to kind of just stay out of his way and allow him to accomplish that was such a special day, and something that I'll cherish forever. He's the kind of guy who every time he takes him out, it's cliches, he's going to throw a no-hitter today, he's got no-hit stuff. But I can always say I was there for the first one. And it was just an amazing day, something we'll always share together. And I'd be lying if I didn't say about every 3 or 6 months I go back and there's a great collection of Vin Scully calling every out of that no-hitter, and you can find it. It's about 6 minutes long, and I go back and I like to watch that, just kind of relive the moments. There's a great play, the pitch before the final out where Corey Dickerson's hitting and hits a little flare towards our dugout, and I run after it. I'm catching this thing. This thing. I'm making this final out, and I go diving in the first row, right into Magic Johnson, who's sitting right there. And I dive right in the first row, and I look up, and the ball's about 15 rows away. So I'm diving, and but even more to this story is the ball over there. I'm there. Clayton's there. He comes over to kind of pull me out of the stands. Before the last pitch, and the umpire, there's Greg Gibson, who's a longtime Major League umpire, and he grabs a baseball and he puts it in Clayton's glove and says, "You got this, big boy, right now."
Wow.
So the whole cliche, you're not supposed to talk to a pitcher to no hitter. The umpire apparently doesn't know that.
Sure.
And so the next pitch, Clayton throws a slider, Dickerson strikes out, and the rest is history. It's an amazing day.
So, at what point did you think that we got something special here? I mean, because we're talking about Kershaw throwing this, not some journeyman guy.
Yeah, you kind of look at the scoreboard and the outs and the way they're piling up, and about the 6th inning, I'd say, and we think we get through that last stretch, and we got one more time to go through the lineup. You know that's going to be, the last 9 outs are going to be the toughest to get. But with the way he pitches, with his stuff, the way his stuff was that day, with his breaking balls and how they were both so dynamic, both the slider and his curveball. You knew that he had a chance to, as long as he got the 2 strikes, the at-bats were pretty much over.
Chuck and Winkler here on the Fan. AJ Ellis, Brian Anderson, Fox Sports Wisconsin with us as well at the Toy Drive, 6th and Rawson in Oak Creek. You can come down and donate a new unwrapped toy, some cash donations. A lot of people so far, and we thank you. Hope to see a lot more today and tomorrow. BA, as far as a no-hitter with you, I feel like the Brewers have had a guy. This year was like every 3rd week. There's a guy in the 6th inning with a no-hitter, and I get jumpy in like the 3rd inning. If it's 3 innings, I'm thinking, all right, Chase has this. We've got this.
Yeah, right.
Doug Davis in the past.
Jeffrey
Dave Bush.
60
He's got it.
Good one. He had a couple of
It was
runs.
like every game I went to was
Yeah.
Dave Bush, and I was like, I want to see Dave Bush. I want to see CC. And then Dave Bush is, a no-hitter through 7. Mike Fiers was another guy. What's your protocol when calling these things? Because there's so many. I think, Chuck, you said something on Twitter once that ruined it, and everybody hated Chuck for a week. Because he jinxed it.
It's understandable. Well, the common denominator with all of those potential no-hitters is that I at some point said that he has a no-hitter going and officially took him out of the possibility to actually have a no-hitter. So broadcaster jinxes are real, and I'm not interested in seeing any no-hitter by a Brewer, so I immediately try to jinx that, and so it doesn't happen. But now, protocol for me is I abide by the Vin Scully rule, who kind of set the mold for all of us broadcasters, but you have to report it. And I've called a number of no-hitters in my career, including Roy Halladay's no-hitter in the playoffs. And I remember in the 3rd inning of the Roy Halladay no-hitter, I look at my partner, I go, God, he could throw a no-hitter if he keeps pitching like this. And he laughed at me. And then I said it on the air in the 5th inning as he got through the 5th inning. Usually that's when I'll mention it, because I want people, I'd rather be mad at me and be watching than not to know about it and not watch. So I don't mind it. I take the criticism well and in stride, and I would do the same if I was a fan and I felt like somebody ruined a no-hitter by using his words, which we all know we have that power.
I always say, BA, if someone's going to think I have that much power over a guy having a no-hitter, then thank you.
Yeah. So no, that's my cue. Is sometimes you can kind of tell when a guy, Justin Verlander's no-hitter against the Brewers in 2007, you kind of knew that was going down early.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just overwhelming everybody. Same with Halladay in the playoffs. So yeah, I like to just mention. I try not to beat it up too much, but if he's got a perfect game going, you handle that differently and count the outs down.
It's one thing to talk about it, but for that umpire to give Kershaw the ball.
Yeah, and so you got this, big boy.
I mean,
you got what?
The Stones. Yeah, I didn't
AJ
even know.
said, don't listen to him.
So AJ, okay, you've never played the Brewers, and I think people always wonder, what's a major league player doing in the Milwaukee area year-round, living here? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, AJ, why are you here?
Why are you here in the wintertime?
I came for Brian. He's I followed him his whole
Flew in
career.
on his private plane.
My wife is from here. She went to Pius High School, and we met at Austin Peay State University where we both went to college. I was playing baseball. She was there on a volleyball scholarship, and so we got married about 12 years ago. I need to know.
Yeah, you need to brush up on that one.
12 years ago.
Just say long-time husband.
Yeah, long-time husband.
Long-time catcher, long-time husband.
Veteran husband. So after a few years living in Kentucky, where I grew up, it just got too. It made sense for us to come back here to be closer to her family. Her family's still in the area, sisters, grandparents at the time, and it just made sense. So we came here, and it's been great. It's been great to be here, and it's been a great place to live, raise our kids. We have 3 beautiful kids, and a great school that they're part of, and great church, and great great atmosphere. So I love Milwaukee. I love living here. I don't envision living anywhere else, and we'll be part of this community for as long as we're here.
AJ Ellis.
Brewer.
Yeah, okay, we'll talk about that a little more in a minute. AJ Ellis, Brian Anderson. Unless you guys are super hungry and need to get to breakfast, we can talk for 10 more minutes.
We'll see.
Okay. So.
We'll see how we do in the break.
We'll have more with Brian Anderson and AJ Ellis unless their stomach starts rumbling. It's Chuck and Winkler. We're here at the 11th Annual Toy Drive. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, 6th and Rawson in Oak Creek. More coming up, 105.7 FM The Fan.
Nice.
All right, I think we just got a little quick break.
Now, when did you start here? When was...
I took over for Mike 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
Where's he?
He went to Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Just a heads up, still live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I went
You're
to-
obviously from Milwaukee.
Can I do this?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think you want to do that.
I think I'm going to break it. I grew up in
That's a good
Fond du
idea.
Lac.
Oh, Fond du Lac. The Trip Ahern Mafia.
Yeah.
Those are friends of ours.
Who's that?
Trip Ahern.
Oh, Trip Ahern. You know Trip?
Oh, yeah, real well. Yeah.
How do you know Trip?
You want that heater?
Golf.
Yeah, we
That
played
is
a lot of
honest.
golf, and I met him through
I was just
Maddox,
gonna
Mike
practice.
Maddox, when
Okay.
I first moved here, and become friends. And AJ knows him too.
Okay. He's good
We went
friends
to
with
a
Alvarez,
Packers
too.
game.
Yeah.
Went to a Packers game with. Matter of fact, AJ and Clayton came up for a Packers game.
Packers Cowboys.
Yeah, when was that? That was not that long
It
ago.
was the warmest December day in Green Bay history.
Yeah, it was like 55 degrees.
We talked about, we set it up like when the schedule came out.
Yeah.
Brian was talking to us about when the Brewers came to LA, and I'm like telling Clay, I'm like, you don't even have a winter coat. You got no shot up there. You're gonna be so cold. It's gonna be awesome. And Clayton's like, I'm ready. And sure enough,
Yeah, it's
57
nothing.
degrees.
Wow.
He
He,
didn't get the exposed experience.
Where'd you guys sit?
Trips had a box.
Yeah.
Oh, you box. So if you're in a box, you're good to go.
But Lance Allen, who was a good friend of mine, he actually took us down to the field before the game.
Okay.
So we got to go down and go on the sideline and walk around. Clayton knows Jason Garrett from being in Dallas. So Jason Garrett, Tony Romo, Short at the time, he came over here and spoke to us and stuff. So he got a pretty fun, full experience on being in Lambeau for the first time. I get to go up here a couple times every year. My father-in-law, the family. So I made that Lambeau bucket list trip.
Oh, yeah.
I had
It's a
my
trip home
wedding
now.
at Lambeau.
Tough.
This
No
year.
way.
We had our ceremony at Lambeau.
That's
pretty cool.
And she lived in Green Bay before we got moved in together. It was her idea, but she just liked the venue.
Yep.
And, I'm like a big Packer guy, named after Bart Starr. I'm an owner.
You're a true cheese.
I know. But I wanted, it was not like a green and gold
In
wedding.
the atrium, did you do it there, or did you do it more?
You need like 800 people to do that one.
Okay.
We don't have that many friends. So we did it on the 4th level,
Okay.
which was still great. They give you a little suite.
The auxiliary area.
Yeah.
So we're.
Yeah.
They got views.
Yeah.
Views of the.
Yeah, they give you a little suite. They turn the
That's
lights
cool,
on for
man.
you. Chuck and Winkler, we are served up by Perkins Restaurant and Bakeries, the Brighton Stratton College Athletic Mobile Studios. Here at our 11th annual toy drive for the Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. I'm Bart, that's Chuck. Brian Anderson, Fox Sports Wisconsin, of course. AJ Ellis, longtime MLB catcher, with us for the Milwaukee Brewers someday. AJ, we just got to ask you that question. You gonna be a brewer? Do you want to be a brewer?
I'd love to be a brewer. This place is sports crazy. I love playing here. I love coming in as a visiting player. It's a beautiful stadium to play at. As a visiting player, it's one of my favorite places to come. And I speak for all of baseball now. People who live here, they love coming to Milwaukee. They love playing at the ballpark. Hitters love it especially. It's usually a great place
hitters
to
do.
hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then where the Brewers are at right now and the direction they're heading with their new front office group and with Craig in the dugout and his staff, the Brewers are going to be contenders in this pretty competitive NL Central for a long, long time. because of the stability and the infrastructure that they're building right now.
Brian, I know in the off season you do a lot of other work. I feel like we always see you doing every Badger game in the NCAA basketball tournament. So what are you doing here in the off season while the Brewers are done? What are you doing? Football? What's going on with you?
No football. I used to do football for CBS for a couple of years. I did that, but I had to find some kind of off season somewhere, so gave that up last year. We're into basketball now, so we're heavy. I've got Wisconsin, Ohio State on Fox this Saturday.
Okay.
Kind of an appetizer into the national championship, not the Big 12, Big 10 championship game, I should say. So we'll precede that, and then doing a lot of college basketball. I've got some NBA on TNT next week. Headed to Salt Lake City for the Rockets and the Jazz. So I'll start doing more NBA on TNT, especially as we get into January. They get into the players-only broadcast, and then there are specialty games that I'll do there. So really, it's just basketball and set up for spring training in late February, and then of course March Madness. Once we get into March, I'll do the first four again from Dayton, and then that'll kick off the NCAA tournament, and then the first 2 weekends of the NCAA tournament, and then we're back with baseball. So yeah, it's a good schedule. I've had some time off. I've done a couple of basketball games, but since the baseball season ended, the baseball playoffs, I've had some time off and done some traveling, and I'm actually excited about a trip. We're headed to the UK next week. I'm going to go watch Liverpool play soccer.
Do you know what that is, Chuck? Liverpool?
I'm afraid to ask because I'm not a soccer fan, but what would make you go see that?
There's a guy that I know who works with us with the Brewers, Teddy Werner, who invited me to go, and he's connected to that soccer franchise. So we're going to go over there and watch a little soccer.
Just a little vacation over there?
What's that?
Just a little vacation over there?
Yeah, and I've never been, and I've always wanted to experience. I'm not a huge soccer fan by any stretch, but I've never experienced it at that level. So we're going to see Man U, and we're going to see Liverpool. And
that's a legit game, man.
Yeah, well, they're not playing each other. They're playing
okay.
separate games.
Still.
So that's only one of the few times you're going to a sporting event you're not working.
As a fan, yeah. And I went to Lambeau as a fan. Saw the Ravens game. That was a terrible game. They got shut out there.
Horrible game to go to, yeah.
But I don't get to do that very often, so I love being able to go just be a fan and not have to think about words to say and Twitter to read.
Yeah, which you're on, by the way, finally,
Forced
after
into.
all these years. When you do these different sports and with these different networks and these different broadcasts, what is it like for you to go, I guess you're going from partner to partner to partner. You've got all these different guys that you work with. Is it easy for you to develop a rapport with these guys right away, like with Steve Smith and then go back to Rock and just all the partners that you have? Is it easy to try to figure out how to work with every guy differently?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's just personalities, just relationships. That's why AJ's here right now. He's in a full-on audition. He doesn't know it, but we're testing him out. But I think, my style, my perspective on broadcasting is kind of my perspective on life as well. I prefer to serve first and be the point guard, right? And so that fits beautifully in the broadcasting world, because when I can get to know an analyst and find out his strengths and what he's interested in, if he trusts me enough to unveil a lot of this information, then I can get him the ball in the basketball term or tee him up, and so I think that works well for me. I'd rather, in my opinion is, especially in television, the analyst has to be the star. So if the analyst is the star and delivers the great information and can be the galvanizing piece to our TV puzzle, then everybody else kind of falls in line. But that requires the play-by-play guy being willing to set that person up. It requires the producer being willing to work with the play-by-play guy and the analyst. And so it's a multi-layered operation, but it's just like anything else. It's just like you working here. It's all about relationships. And so the first thing I do is not about trying to figure out what kind of broadcaster they are. I want to know what kind of person they are, what makes them tick, what the currency is, so I can be a better partner. That's my relationship.
Sounds like you're a catcher.
Yeah. It is. It's a lot like good catchers like AJ. And I was a catcher in college, but it's that same philosophy. You want the pitcher to star, and if a pitcher has a great day and the catcher feels inspired by that as well. You feel like you're a part of that.
I feel there's not a sportscaster country who travel as much as you be. One night you're doing a Brewer game in maybe New York, and the next night you're doing a game on TNT, an NBA game, maybe a college game. How do you do all that traveling? I mean, because you're not traveling charter the whole time.
No, I fly with the team with the Brewers.
TNT got your charter?
No.
Okay.
I do. I fly with the Brewers charter.
Ted Turner
with
comes
the
and
team.
picks them up.
Yeah.
But no, it's we fly commercial with Turner. That's the worst part of the job, and that's not even bad. But that's the worst part: the travel, being away from your family,
Checking in the hotels and all that.
Yeah, staying at those 5-star hotels. That stinks. No, it's a great life.
Do you ever get room service like at midnight?
Isn't it so annoying? when
Fries
it
aren't
takes-
cooked like the perfect way. Like you get them at 6.
Other people's problem. It's you just got to keep it organized. I'm already booking travel right now for the Big Ten Championship in Madison Square Garden.
Sure.
So the Big Ten tournament hoops is going to be in Madison Square Garden. So you got to really be organized and get ahead of it. So I'm already booking travel to New York for March. I'm already booking spring training travel for late February. So there's a rhythm to it, and it's not hard. It's hard being away from your family, but it's not hard to go all over the country and see all this really cool stuff.
Brian Anderson, AJ Ellis, here, Chuck and Winkler on the Fan at the Toy Drive. Brian keeps alluding to you, AJ, as a future broadcaster. Is that him just messing with you?
That's after he gets fired from his managerial job.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it's something that I'm passionate about. I love baseball. I love talking about baseball. I love educating people about baseball. I think it's the greatest sport going. And there's so much. You compare baseball to life, and you can kind of use baseball as a kind of way to get through people. It's great to see fathers and sons in baseball. My own son now is 7 years old, and we're starting to build those relationships. There's so much, so much special about baseball. So I think down the road, hopefully there's a lot of different opportunities, and guys like Brian are people I'm going to rely heavily on to give me counsel on what's the best career move for me going forward.
By the way, I used AJ, so he's just an example because he'll never talk about himself. But I did the NLCS this year between the Cubs and the Dodgers, and it was really interesting getting AJ's perspective on the way the series was unfolding. And I don't have a number for you, but of the 10 things that I asked AJ about certain players, the rhythms of these games and this series, he was ahead of probably 8 of them. Like, this is probably going to happen here, X, Y, Z, and it was amazing. I said, man, I kept telling him, this is why you're going to be a great analyst one day, because he helped me.
Baseball's Tony Romo right now.
Exactly, and just to be able to, and it's not anything you would even necessarily say on the air or maybe too complicated to get into, but there's reasons why certain things are going to happen, maybe 2 or 3 times through the order down the road. It was fascinating.
But I also like to show off a little bit too. If I'm watching the game with friends, and I'll say, "Hey, I'm going to get Brian to say the word filibuster." So I'll text message him and say, "Get filibuster in this next." So he'll mix it in, or I'll say some other word, and I'll show off for people like, "Watch this. What's going to happen right now?" So
Well, he's not once ever credited you on here. I don't remember.
No credit.
AJ, anything you think that's going to happen in baseball? The game is always changing. Instant replay. Do you see anything within the next few years that's going to change with the game? I know the length of the game seems to be a problem in baseball.
yeah, one thing we talked about earlier was no hitters, and I don't think no hitters are going to happen with the frequency they had. I think there was 1 no hitter last season.
Right.
That's the Lopez. The way that the games are being managed, the way the pitchers are being conditioned, no one's expecting pitchers to throw 7, 8, 9 innings anymore. I think as you get to the 3rd time through the lineup, the teams want to hand over these specialty guys in the bullpen, righty-lefty matchups. I don't think pitchers are going to be conditioned to throw complete games anymore. So we're seeing that evolution. We're seeing strikeout numbers going up, the amount of home runs trying to go up. Where teams are realizing, we're just going to try to outslug teams. And the game is definitely changing. I think the strikeouts, home runs, we're not seeing as much contact. The games are getting longer. But there's still, as you saw, the drama of the World Series, and there's still the drama of the cat and mouse game, and 2 different styles of the Astros, the way they play, and the way the Dodgers play. It makes it great.
You guys will see the more importance of the middle reliever, where the middle reliever is just some run-of-the-mill guy, but the importance of that now?
Well, it used to be the middle reliever was the guy who couldn't start, couldn't finish.
Yeah.
But now you're seeing he's the bridge.
Yeah.
And you're starting to build these guys that now can pitch multiple innings in that role. These guys like Andrew Miller, The guys like Chris Davinsky, the guys like Brandon Morrow for the Dodgers. These are guys who can go multiple innings in the middle of the game to kind of connect the start, where you're only asking guys to go 5 innings now, to the back end specialty guys. So you're seeing that role evolve. Now, what's going to happen in baseball? What's always funny is the economics with what owners are going to do with that financially, what front offices are going to do with that role financially, because it's not a historical role, and players where they revolt. I don't want to do that role anymore because I'm not going to get compensated the way a starter or a reliever
Or closer.
would be.
Yeah.
PA, before we let you guys go, we want to get the one Brewer question. What do you see this offseason being like for the team?
I think it's going to be busy and newsworthy. I think we're starting to see some signs of it already. They put some pieces together that set a foundation. Like AJ said, he was accurate on that. But I do think there is money to spend. The Brewers probably feel like they're in a position where they can strike maybe a year or two earlier than they thought. I mean, they need starting pitching, and so I would sense that they're going to be very aggressive, either trying to sign a starter or try to make a trade for a higher level starter. They have the prospects, which is currency in this game, currency to make deals. And, at some point you acquire all this talent, then you have to be willing to part with it and have that player go on and maybe do great things to get what you need right now. Right now the Brewers need starting pitching, and I think they're going to be aggressive. I think they're going to open up the payroll a little bit, just from what I've heard and talking to David Stearns. I would imagine a newsworthy hot stove league, which we're already launching into at this point.
We should have timed it better where you were out here when David Stearns was out here, AJ.
We could have.
David Stearns.
Yeah. We could have got the deal done right here.
At the end of the day, we could have made
Only
that happen.
AJ and David Stearns could have gotten together for a breakfast or something.
That would have been special as well.
Would have been awesome.
Guys, we want to thank you both for coming out here. We know you went into Blaine's Farm and Fleet before, got some toys. Appreciate that for coming out here.
Those are for us, though.
Oh, okay.
they were, okay.
All right. Well, if you want to go back in and get some toys,
Ben looks a little lighter out there. You
Is
didn't take
this what this is?
Yes. Not a toy grab. Yeah.
we want to thank you guys for coming out and just the small part that this might do to help get some few more people to donate for the Children's Hospital. Great cause, and we appreciate you coming out here.
Yeah, good to be here and good to have this in our town, man. I'm proud of you guys for the work you've done here. You do a great job, and those kids will be excited to receive all these toys.
Yeah, and echo Brian, I think both of us agree. This is the most important part of our platform. Is when we make it to the level we made in professional sports. Him as a broadcaster, myself as a player, you have to give back. You have to want to give back. And when he texted me and offered me a chance to come out here and support the kids and support what you guys are doing, it's an immediate yes, because I love doing this kind of stuff, and it's great to get back in a great community like this.
AJ Ellis, Brian Anderson, guys, thank you so much again for coming out. Chuck and Winkler were broadcasting live at the 11th Annual Toy Drive, Blaine's Farm and Fleet, 6th and Rawson in Oak Creek. Thanks again, guys.
You got it.
Thank you
here.
very much. We'll switch gears a little bit. John Greenberg with the Milwaukee Admirals will stop by. Admirals fans, you are going to want to listen to what John Greenberg, Santa John, has brought in that bag of his. It's Chuck and Winkler, served up by Perkins here on The Fan.